Hey friends, welcome back. Today is a Q&A video answering an excellent question raised by Wendy. To summarize, this actually contains two questions. First, should the Gaiwan lid and cup be perfectly sealed or not? Second, if there is a gap between the Gaiwan lid and the cup, does that mean it's poorly made? It seems that there are people who support the idea that the Gaiwan lid and the cup should be perfectly sealed. And of course, some people think quite opposite. What's your take on this? Leave me a comment below. I'd love to know the reasons for your preference. As for my thought on this, I'd like to look at it from three different aspects. First, function. Before we jump in, I'd like to quickly define this gap. We're not talking about a major issue with the lid that it cannot function as a Gaiwan when we do Gongfu brew. In this video, when I talk about the lid and the cup has a little gap or imperfection, it means that a slight imperfection in the seal and that small-ish gap between the two components. Either we're drinking from the Gaiwan or use the Gaiwan to brew the tea and pour it out. In both ways of using this vessel, we all have to tilt it to form a gap so we can get the liquor out of the Gaiwan. So whether there is a slight gap between the lid and Gaiwan or not really doesn't affect this very fundamental function of Gaiwan. A few other minor areas that I would consider when we talk about this gap, it might be about heat retention or a little bit escape of aroma. However, most of the time when we use Gaiwan, we do Gongfu brewing, which means we use relatively higher water temperature and fast infusion, meaning less brewing time. So in that regard, the small gap really doesn't affect much. Therefore, in terms of a function, I really don't think an imperfect seal is an issue. However, Gaiwan could be more than just a tea brewing vessel. Many of us enjoy the beauty of Gaiwan. Having a piece of beautiful teaware and play with it itself is very enjoyable. There are handmade or machine-made Gaiwan. There are also various glaze and techniques in terms of making Gaiwan. These are all very interesting to many tea lovers. Let me ask you a question. Can you draw a perfect circle just with your hand? How about a perfect circle with 18 centimeter diameters? Again, without any help with tools. It is pretty hard, isn't it? Industrial production makes good quality Gaiwan really accessible to all of us. But sometimes we still enjoy that good piece of handmade teaware. And in terms of handmade, there are actually different scales of handmade. Some are hand and machine combined, some are handmade with a good amount of help with modern tools, certain ones are handmade with more traditional style of tools, or the purest form of handmade. The less tools one use, the harder it is to make a good Gaiwan. Personally, I found I'm looking for a good lineup of skill level, price, and the end result. Meaning, if I'm spending $30, $50 on a Gaiwan, it's beautiful, functional, aesthetically appealing to me, I'm totally okay with it, have little imperfection in terms of the seal. But if I'm spending $2,000 on a masterpiece, handmade, exquisite Gaiwan that still have a little gap, yes, I would call it a poorly made, but not my $30 one. Last but not the least is personal preference. There are people who just simply cannot accept that imperfection, that little gap there, in which case it's totally up to you to choose whichever Gaiwan you like. Looking at my personal collection, I found most of my Gaiwan have a little gap and I never had any issue with it. The funny thing is, I do have one very, very, very expensive Gaiwan, and it's perfect seal. It's perfect seal from the lid to the cup, from the cup to the saucer. And it's my least favorite, least used Gaiwan. If you ask me again, I wouldn't even buy it. When it self-forms a perfect seal with the water in it, it seals really well. It's tricky to till the lid, and sometimes the cup gets stuck with the saucer. If you ask me now, I regret my purchase because I'm a utility first guy. In my opinion, if I buy something, I need to use it. If I'm not using it, it just sits in the corner collecting dust. It's a waste of money. And that's what happened to that Gaiwan. Anyway, share with me your thoughts and your experience. Hope this is helpful. Really appreciate all the comments and questions in videos and email exchanges. Until next time, keep steeping.